Welcome everyone to German Tool Reviews. Today we're going to take a look at the Knipex sheet metal nibblers with part number 9055280. This product is a rebrand made by EDMA in France. My best guess on the model number is the Super Coup NR1. This tool is used for making cuts in sheet metal that would be difficult if not impossible with a normal pair of sheet metal shears. So let's go ahead and unbox this thing. Even though it is a rebrand, you can tell quite a bit of effort was done by the Knipex on their version, making sure the part number was stamped on the side of the tool and providing this custom set of instructions. You can also always tell it's a rebrand because the colors of the handles are just not quite the same as the genuine ones. I know there are a lot of arguments against rebrands due to the inevitable price markup. The way I look at it is more about distribution, where you can utilize the global Knipex distribution network to acquire this tool over the one from the original manufacturer, which may be much harder to obtain with longer lead times. This tool is used for cutting any solid sheet-like material and has a steel capacity of 1.2 millimeters, which would be about 18 gauge. For softer materials like composites and aluminum, it has a rated capacity of 2.0 millimeters. Only a capacity of 1.2 millimeters is stamped on the tool. Unlike a powered nibbler, this one has the ability to perform notching without chip breaking, which creates a continuous coil of material as you progress through the cut. This is done by breaking through the material, but not far enough to actually break the chip off. Demonstrating it here with a piece of cardboard, you can see it shears a couple of millimeters at a time, deforming the material with the jaws built into the cutting blade. This makes cleanup a bit easier than using a powered nibbler that would have taken a small chip on each stroke of the cutting blade. The width of the notch is 2.7 millimeters, and the same size is reflected in the notch at the end of the tool that can be used to guide the cut and is seen through a small plastic translucent guard on the top of the tool. The particular task I had in mind for this tool was to create a new cover plate for this old Westinghouse motor I'm working on. Now I know there are better tools more suited for this job, such as using a bandsaw or a brake, so I think the real advantage of this tool is the cases where these large machine shop like tools are not available and you need to make small custom parts like this. I had a scrap piece of 1/16 aluminum that I decided to use for this that I will eventually paint. What I have found is that for longer cuts you do eventually have to break the chip because the material coils upon itself and has nowhere else to go. It actually produces a surprisingly straight edge. I believe this is because of the large width and depth of the notch you're making, which sort of acts like a guide along the material. I was able to successfully cut at an angle. It just takes a couple of nibbles to get it started. The edge that it produces on this particular material were not overly sharp, but I did take a file to them to take some of that edge off. I think in most cases you'll be alright to use the material right off the tool. Just looking at a reverse angle here on a test cut to show you how it progresses through. I found that you need to give it a bit of a wiggle to advance it forward after getting through the material. A couple of notes on some issues I encountered. First, there is a pinch point near the start of the handles that you need to be cognizant of when breaking the chip. It did bite me once when it caught part of my thumb in this area. The second issue is that I feel like the locking guard did not do enough to keep the pliers closed during storage. Even in the latch position, there's a good amount of the cutting blade exposed. Feels like it could potentially rip a pocket in a tool bag or damage other adjacent tools during storage. Other than those two things, I really didn't have anything else negative to say. The tool did what it was designed to do and did it quite well. Like I said before, this is not going to replace larger tools in a machine shop to cut and form sheet metal, but this is more for someone who needs to make marginal number of cuts without access to these tools. Hopefully you enjoyed that look at the Knipex sheet metal nibbler. Check out the link in the description to the full review. There are also some affiliate links in the description if you feel the urge to pick this unit up. Have a good week and I'll catch you guys next time.